you're a Miami Dolphins fan, season's over, it's a wrap. Is there a chance Tua comes back?
So Tua, given the neurologist, whatever they're saying, I could see him trying to make an attempt to come back. But if it was me at this point, I'm done playing football.
All right, guys, welcome to an episode of Fully Loaded here with my buddy Chris Carter. We appreciate you. Thanks for jumping on. How you doing, man?
Good, bro. What's happening?
We're in the studio now.
I like this.
You do like it?
It's a good setup.
It's a different setup.
It's nice that we got a backup.
We do a backup because our plan A is still stuck in like Nashville, Tennessee because of the weather. So we went to LA to do some podcasts, shot some podcasts. That's how we do the mobile out there.
Okay.
This is our plan B. We don't have a plan C, so we might need it. We only have a second string. We don't have a third string. We probably should have a third string, right?
We'll take one of the exotic cars and do it from the
no, you two, we do too tall for that. Yeah, be too tight, but we'll figure it out. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you joining us. I want to start with something that actually is really interesting to me because from a football standpoint, I mean, Colorado did beat the heck out of Central Florida.
Yes.
They beat? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole thing with Travis Hunter, because, I mean, if anybody can answer what they think it does or doesn't take to be a wide receiver in the league or who won't be a good wide receiver, I love Ohtani fascinates me in baseball because he can pitch play, but it's unbelievable. Is Travis Hunter, when Richard Sherman and his other guys say he can't play wide receiver in the NFL, can he can't, he won't, is the guy going to play two ways in the NFL, in the league?
Well, I don't know if he's going to play two ways.
Can he, but I should say.
We've never seen anyone like him. And I think that people are making the classic comparison between Travis Hunter and Charles Woodson and Champ Bailey, Michigan, Georgia, and they were mostly defensive backs. And this is what I'm going to tell you. I think that right now, I think Travis Hunter is as a good a defensive back as they were.
Okay.
Before they went into the NFL.
Okay.
And Travis Hunter is almost as good as any receiver that we have in college football.
Okay.
Now, the only reason why he's not the best receiver in college football is because he only plays it part-time.
Correct.
Like, there are some fundamentals and everything that he will easily pick up on if he decides to play one side of the ball. But I think it's a challenge to play both ways. The game is a lot slower. Very few no-huddle situations. But if you look at the overall load that's going to be on his body week in and week out, and the tackling in the NFL is totally different. Mm-hmm. So that physicality you can't measure, in a college game.
Okay.
So I think he has that uniqueness that Deion Sanders had. Mm-hmm. Because if Deion would have concentrated on being a wide receiver, he would have been really good. Mm-hmm. And I think that Deion is really the only comparison because he played a substantial amount of offense and defense. But I do believe that he can do both. And it's no question what position he should play. I mean, that right there is easy. And I don't care if he's mentored by Deion, but he should play wide receiver. And the reason he has the measurables,
he should play wide receiver.
Absolutely. Okay. It's without a question.
Okay.
And not only because of his skill, his ability to play the football, and as a wide receiver, you can have more of an impact on the game because not only if they're throwing you the ball, but if they're committing two defenders to you.
What it does for everybody else.
It makes the whole numbers game for the offense lopsided. So even if you're not catching the ball, you're affected in a positive way. If you're playing man-to-man coverage and they can concentrate the other 10 defenders on the rest, you're also changing the numbers, in doing that. But from an economic standpoint, I think right now that there are, I think, 18 to 20 wide receivers in the NFL that are making $18 million to $35 million. Justin Jefferson.
Got
CeeDee
it.
Lamb's making $34 million.
Okay.
Now, the highest paid defensive back is making $24 million.
So he should be a wide receiver. So he should be a wide receiver.
I'm gonna say that one more time. There's 18.
That makes sense.
20.
I'm following that.
Okay,
I'm a businessman. I'm following that. I'm a wide receiver.
Okay, there's an 18 to 20 wide receivers making at least 18 million to 35 million. And the highest paid defensive back is Jalen Ramsey, and he makes 24 million. So that right there, that decides what.
So as an NFL GM, because you've been around this game a long time, he don't get a hell of a lot more money because defensively he's as good as Charles Woodson and Bailey, or could be, but he still should play wide receiver because the amount of money he makes way impacts the game. Is he, from a value standpoint, there's nobody out there getting a con. He's not going to get a 35, 40. I mean, he's worth what he's worth if he's primarily a defensive player playing some wide receiver.
The first contract.
Correct.
The first contract, yeah, because it's slotted.
So if you were working with him, that would be your advice. Hey, bro, you're a wide receiver. What are you doing? Let's go.
Yes.
Play some defense for fun if you want.
Uncle Cris is telling you, hey, bro, this is easy. This is easy. If you want some wide receiver work, come get it. I mean, you're missing out on a lot of fundamentals, and you're still great at the position. So it's a no-brainer. Over the course of a 10-year contract, it's a no-brainer. The only way that you can really monetize his overall durability and playing both ways is on the second contract and from a marketing standpoint.
Got it.
Like, he's one of one.
So why do Richard Sherman and other guys say he can't play wide receiver in the NFL? He's not talented enough to play wide receiver?
Well, for one, sometimes even as a great player, you have to get beyond yourself and stop looking at the game from your eyes, even though you have a great perspective.
Yeah.
Richard Sherman, I think that his quotes were more about the what it does to his body. And I think that he was also talking about, there was times in the game that I was so tired, I couldn't even imagine having to play some offense.
So it wasn't that he couldn't play wide receiver.
He just thought that from a strategy standpoint that offenses would target backup receivers to put it on him to run him to the goal line several times in a row.
Correct.
Which really takes away your stamina over the course of the game. And the wide receivers and stuff you're guarding are on an elite level. So yes, it's a different game. It's a different feel to the game, and they dress less players. Like, so the game moves quicker. NFL game averages like 305 to 308. College game, I mean, sometimes they're out there 4 hours.
Takes a half a day, yeah.
So I think that he was going from that. Now, I think since then, Richard Sherman has apologized to him.
Yeah.
Because you should never discourage a person from something that they want to try to do.
Especially when very few people have ever been able to even enter into that at that level.
Right, and that right there. So
that's what's
he's going to have a
amazing.
lot of people like Richard Sherman. They're going to say, "Oh, you're not going to be able to do it,"
Yeah.
and it's going to be difficult to do. But to me, he's the most likely of anyone I've seen since Deion that really had a chance to do it and do it on an elite level.
Yeah. Alabama beat Georgia. Great game. Alabama was running them off the field for half, and then Georgia come back and made a run and score. That's funny. Like, they scored too quick. They scored so fast. Alabama's got he's really 17. They have a 17-year-old. That kid's 17.
Ryan Williams.
He's 17.
Yes.
How good is he going to be?
No, he's amazing. I mean, he is a natural wide receiver. And Alabama, over the last 10 to 12 years, has done such a great job of developing wide receivers and really making them NFL ready. But very, very unique talent from Mobile, Alabama. Follow him on Twitter and everything. He hosts his own podcast with another kid there in Alabama every week. So
that's great.
Yes. And it's nice because, I mean, he's not a flamboyant, he's not your normal wide receiver type, but since Nick Saban left, the program is far more smiley face and the kids are far more open now. They're playing music at the practices and everything. So, sometimes timing is the key to life. So him getting there under the new coaching regime that they have and really been able to thrive. But great player, highly ranked coming out of high school, third-ranked player behind Jeremiah Smith. He was the first-ranked player from Fort Lauderdale who ended up going to Ohio State, who's off to a great start. He scored 2 touchdowns against Michigan State this weekend. And this kid, I think, has 5 or 6 touchdowns already in 4 games for Alabama. So wide receivers, man, they are making an impact on college football.
He needs to come on fully loaded with us.
Let's try to reach out to him.
We're going to. We need to get out.
Let's try to reach out to him.
He needs to come on here.
Yes.
Explain. Hey, do me a favor, because you were telling me. I was like, man, did you see that catch? And then you explained the catch to me. You're like, oh, and they appear right, and they did this. They stopped, and I was like, shit, I just thought it was a good catch. Do that. Do that. Explain to everybody what you explained to me.
The commentary?
Yes, the commentary.
Well, first of all, the context of the game. You're playing at Nick Saban Field.
Yeah.
Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
He's got a couple national championships, groomed by Alabama, Nick Saban. And Alabama's up by 3 touchdowns. It's getting ready to be a blowout. And Kalen DeBoer, the new coach, came from Washington. This is his first time in this matchup. And Heisman Trophy favorite, Beck, the quarterback, is having an awful. Those 2 picks in the first half. I mean, Alabama's getting ready to boat race them. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, Georgia's coming back. Next thing you know, Georgia scores again. Georgia comes all the way back and takes the lead late in the game. And first or second play, 75 yards to the kid. He's one-on-one down the sideline. So he elevates over the kid to catch the ball.
Yeah.
Then he begins to get into a foot race with them. Then all of a sudden he said, I'm not going to win this foot race. He decides to pirouette, does a spin move, adjusts his face mask, and then because of the angle that he had, he outraces him to the end zone. I mean, 17 years old.
While adjusting his face mask.
Yeah, on that type of stage, that late in the game, like still being locked in and doing it at a high level. Him and Jeremiah Smith, the wide receiver for Ohio State, they could be All-Americans this year in their freshman year.
How many people are at that Alabama-Georgia game?
Brian Denny holds 90-something thousand.
You're 17 years old.
Yes.
Down late after beating the crap out of them all game long. And you're like, all right, why not? In front of almost 100,000 people.
He'll
millions.
tell you he couldn't hear the crowd during parts of it. He couldn't hear it. When he was running his route, he couldn't hear him. When he caught the ball, he probably heard something. And then as he was running to the end zone, he didn't hear nothing. Then when he got to the end zone, he could hear it all.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was watching it all, and I was a big fan of Alabama last night myself. So I was excited for them and good for them. So you say it's a lot looser over there now. Different era, different deal. What do you think is the biggest difference post Coach Saban for Alabama?
Well, they interviewed Lane Kiffin before the big game, Kentucky, on College Game Day, and Coach Saban was on the set. And the question was, hey, Lane, you see Coach in all these commercials now. How much does his personality in the commercials resemble the personality that you knew as the coach? And Lane paused for a second, then he said, I don't know that guy in the commercials.
Never met that guy.
I don't know him.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. That says it all.
Yes.
That says it all. All right. So college football, NIL, the kid from, what's his last name? Sluka from UNLV, quarterback. They won 3 games. I don't know how. Played pretty well. They won 3 games. Allegedly, they were supposed to give him $100,000. They didn't pay him. I guess they paid him a small amount allegedly. And he said, hey, I'm going to take my red shirt year. I'm out. Forget it. Y'all on your own. You didn't pay me. What are your thoughts on his situation in general based on what you know about it?
Well, we recruited that kid
at
FAU.
Yeah.
Our problem with the kid was that compared to the other kids that we were recruiting and Cam Fancher, who we end up signing, was that number one, Cam could transfer in January.
Okay.
And number 2, he had 2 years of eligibility compared to 1.
Yeah.
But if there was a top 3 quarterback, this kid was on our list to try to. And those numbers I know are right because we're in the business.
Yep.
And that's kind of what we're paying, a guy of his caliber. But where you know that there's something going on, because what we have done is, we have legal counsel involved, that we have a contract with the kid.
Who has a contract? The kid and who? The university,
not the university,
the collective,
with the collective.
You got two parties, collective and kid.
Yes.
Money changes hands from collective to the kid.
Now, the collective on our side has hired representation to make sure that the kid understands what that they're signing.
So the kid has representation too, legal representation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we provide that.
Okay.
And walk him through.
His own attorney, not the collective. He's got his own separate dude.
Yes.
Perfect. Got it.
Yeah, the collective had someone draw up the document.
Okay.
We present the collective. We present the contract.
He's able to sign and say, I have legal representation. I understand the contract. I understand what I'm signing. I'm cool.
Yes.
Got it.
So in doing that, then you set up a payment schedule.
Okay.
We typically are doing 7 or 8 months, especially if the kids come in the summer. You hit them in August, September, October, November, December. And then typically you have something you'd like to be able to do something around the bowl game because there's such an incentive to play in the bowl game and stuff like that.
Keep them playing. Yep.
Yeah, but this is the game, but kids have so much control. So what we believe happened is that yes, they agreed to a certain number coming there. Now all of a sudden they're undefeated, but we believe that he's probably been in contact with the Power 4 team that says take the red shirt. We'll pay you money because people in Vegas are boosters and sponsors in Vegas are like,
we'll give you money right now.
Oh, I got it.
I'm in.
People are raising their hand. Oh, I got it. And especially 3-0, chance to get in the college playoffs.
So this kid, you think? Make sure I understand. You're thinking he talked to one of them bigger schools. How many games can you get to play your redshirt? How many games can you play? So this is it. You got to. If you don't do it now, you play again.
They're not in sequence. You can keep going through the season, but
I'm saying, but he's got so many games.
Yeah.
So you're thinking instead of going, hey guys, give me the extra $82,000 you owe me or whatever, because they would have given it to him. He's like, no, this is my reason to get out. These guys promised me $250, $300, $400, $500 to play. We
have a guy on our team, wide receiver, that we're redshirting. He started the first 4 games.
Okay.
Our passing attack wasn't great. He couldn't get the numbers and stuff that we thought.
Yeah.
He's been on special teams, hadn't been a wide receiver, so why throw away a year when you can gain a year?
Correct. It's not redshirt.
He's going to redshirt.
Correct.
He started 4 games for us. But it was a conversation.
Correct.
And you have to have respect on both sides of it, and that's what Coach Herm and this kid were able to do to be able to help the kid out because it's better for his business.
Correct.
That he's able to slow down his college clock. And that's what this kid did at Vegas.
So why not just say that?
Because there's no way he was going to be right. Because only the colleges can be right. Because there's hundreds of kids around the country that have NIL agreements and they're not being paid. People aren't fulfilling them.
For real?
Yeah, we got a couple kids by that. Yes.
That somebody, okay, so it's not the university because the university can't even be involved now until but
yes.
It's the, yes. All right, so the collective, whoever these guys are, and anybody can be a collective.
Anybody.
You and your 2 buddies can go, we a collective.
Right.
Okay, so now you're a collective for whatever school. I bring you in, I go, Chris, your boy's unbelievable, we're going to pay him X amount. We go back and forth, no agreement, no attorneys, no nothing. He starts playing. You're like, hey, man, now it's November. Where's my money? I don't pay you.
Yeah, no coaches involved.
No coaches involved. So now you got a coach who wasn't involved.
No.
Somebody else over here is not honoring it, and the kid's stuck at the school.
Yes.
Okay. So, which is, I'll tell you what, man. That first of all, in business, that's really fucked up. I'm just saying, you know. But so this kid, you're saying, and I'm really asking because I'm trying to understand it myself. He won't be right either way. Even if he came out and said, hey, listen, guys, there's been a struggle with the payment. They really didn't meet it. I know y'all give me, but I'm going to go ahead and just take my red shirt because I'm going to transfer. Like, I'm going to go somewhere else to get my money, which is what he's going to do, right?
More money.
Huh?
More money.
More money, yes.
Yeah, no, it's not the $100,000 because we know because the Vegas boosters says, hey, if it's about $100,000, I got it.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. No, I don't want your $100,000. I want a lot more money.
Plan because he has no value in the NFL.
Correct. So he's getting as much money as he can now. How many more years left?
1 more.
This is it. God.
Yes.
So why not just say that?
His business plan is different than ours.
But the business plan is easy.
Because people would have made him selfish as a quarterback. If he'd have been a wide receiver, people would have been like,
but they know.
Stop. Time. If he would have been a wide receiver.
Yeah.
a cornerback.
Yeah?
So we're 3-0. Y'all promised me money. I'm renegotiating. I want more money. Like, people are like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. But as a quarterback, the CEO, big man on campus, now they're 3-0. Now they can go to college playoff. Oh, the quarterback's supposed to be above that. But it's obviously he's not. I just think the image of the quarterback, it puts it in a team sport like football. It's just looked at different.
So if a cornerback or a wide receiver said that,
people would be more accepting
of
yeah,
that.
they would, yes.
But I think as a businessman, you're making a business decision, which you have the right to make. That's what this world allows you to do now.
Yes.
I'm not going to play in the league. I know that. Cool. They gave me $100,000. Got it. I went to them and said I want, and I couldn't get more. I have one more shot to get paid to play football. Because if I go to, and he's not, but if I go to Canada, what are they going to pay him? I'm not saying you can even play there, but I'm saying, what are you going to make over anywhere else?
$100,000.
There you go. So you go, hey, you know what? I'll do that. I go, I'd acquire that company, but instead of acquiring it, I'm just going to compete with them. I don't need to acquire them. I'm actually just going to take them. To be honest with you, all
right.
They're not that big. I'm going to go ahead and compete. I don't want to buy them. I'm going to take them. It's called the hostile takeover.
Right.
I'm just going to take them.
But now, after being seen in 3 games, there's teams in the Power 4.
They want him.
Yes.
They want to pay him.
It's just a phone call away.
So what's he go from 100 to what? What can he get?
If he's a starting quarterback in a Power 4, he's getting over $1 million. He's getting $1 million.
I still don't understand why not just say it.
What?
That's what I'm doing. Guys.
I just think as a young person, I think that, I mean, when he went to Holy Cross and was a starter there for a couple years, he never thought he was going to be making any money.
Yeah.
So now coming up with this new business plan on the fly, because UNLV lost their quarterback close to the summer last year. You know, so they were scrambling. They were scrambling. And here he comes from Holy Cross to play at UNLV. Holy Cross, bro, is a long way from Vegas, man.
In a lot of ways.
Yes.
In a lot of ways.
Yes. So I know that conversation, to get him on campus, it had to be solid. But I think that, you know, someone's talked to the kid and let him know that you have more options available to you.
And I hear all that. And hopefully this shit gets cleaned up. You're guessing, but I'm asking you to hypothesize. How many dudes you think are out there in college football right now that were offered money? You're
Hundreds.
guessing. Hundreds.
Yes.
Of dudes that are out of school right now, stuck there when somebody said,
oh, yeah, you come here.
So give me an example. You don't give me a name. Give me somebody y'all got. He got offered what? You don't have to come into the other schools. Give me an example. You can give as much information as you want, by the way.
Okay.
Don't hold it back.
I know that typically each kid in the signing class, say high school kids, they might be promised anywhere from 20 to 80 to 100 grand for just signing.
Yeah.
Like just a standard. But you don't start getting paid till you get there.
You don't get that money at that moment in time.
No.
You sign a contract.
No. You don't get that till you're
whenever,
on campus.
Got it. You roll in August.
Right. So they might have said, we're going to give you 50 grand. You're a quarterback.
Okay.
Because we have a quarterback on our team that's a redshirt freshman, and he went to another institution in that has a big time coach. Has a high profile.
Okay.
And he's supposed to be getting 50 grand. So the first month went past, and he was like, hey, you know, what about? And they were like, you know, we'll get to it. Never got to it. Paid him about half of that, but never got to the number. So I'm telling you, hundreds, man, hundreds.
So here's the easy fix. I'm not dog. I don't know. I mean, I just watch it from afar. Everybody can hire an attorney. You don't need every one of you that's getting money can hire your own attorney. You can hire counsel. You can be like, oh, you want to offer me 150 grand? Cool. Let me call my attorney. I can refer you one in any state you want for free. They're not hard to find. They're easy. Have really good ones. And you get an attorney, and that person can talk to you about the contract you're signing with them and make sure that you're represented legally. Period, end of story. If they don't pay you, you have recourse. They don't pay me, I can go after them. And if it's attached to anything else, you want to call yourself Collective ABC, one of them dudes in the collective might actually have money. So that
Yes.
guy you go after. So I'm just saying,
absolutely.
like, you don't, because I'm still not understanding the collectives, and no matter how much I explain to me, I met a guy the other day, and I don't know if I like him or not, but I'm like, I still can't, what do you do? And he told me all that, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, if that was my buddy's friend, I would just tell him to get an attorney. I'd send him my buddy Chad. He's a gangster. He's $1,500 an hour. I'd have him do it for free. It'd be great. But I just can't believe that there's that many kids out there. And I just wish this kid from Vegas just said that, dude, I just think as a businessman, bro, tell me the truth.
NCAA's got to do something.
Yeah, they do.
They can't continue like this.
No, because it's going to get ugly.
So I'm glad it got out, because typically when stuff gets out like that, then typically people that own the sausage making factories and stuff are like, oh man, people are on to us. Let's clean it up.
Well, they're going to figure this one out. So, all right. Dan Campbell, this I'm blown away by. I didn't know this happened. And somebody else was saying this the other day about somebody I was watching again. Like, leave Dan Campbell's house alone. Dan Campbell's home address got leaked on Snapchat or something. And then by his daughter's friend or classmate, and then they what do you know about this? Like, did this like he got doxxed? They sent SWAT to his house, like he had to move?
I'm very familiar with kids pulling pranks, and professional athletes, celebrities and stuff. They're not, immune from it. No, absolutely not. People are crazy, man. Like, people are crazy.
So guys like Dan Campbell or any other head coach in the NFL right now, they live in their addresses are not out there. Their addresses are out there. They can find them pretty.
You can find anyone where they're living. Yes. But the dude's a football coach, man.
So you got to live gated up, make sure nobody can get near you.
Yeah, and have that heat if they decide to come on.
Yeah, you. That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But is that something when you were in the league even back in the day that you were all like, damn, now everything changes for me? Like, were you a hell of a lot more aware of everything going on around you at that time, or no? Or in hindsight you are?
You have to be.
Okay.
I grew up always having to look out.
Yeah.
And I ain't have nothing.
Correct.
God forbid when I got something, allow somebody to take something from me. Oh, no, that's not. It's not going to be because I'm not aware.
That ever happened to you at your home address?
Never
happened.
If I ever get hemmed up and everything, you can have everything I got. But I ain't trying to put myself in that position.
Correct.
Even, typically if you're on a sports team, if you go somewhere to eat all the time, or you go to some place to get your hair cut, get your nails done, stuff like that, and if you're real flashy, like you're going to be a target, like somebody can snatch and grab, that's an easy 50 grand, 25 grand.
Correct.
Stuff like that. So I never really put money and stuff into jewelry and everything that would make me a target.
So you didn't
Watches
do that.
And stuff. No, not too much, because it was, no.
Because the kid got shot. Wasn't that like in Beverly Hills or something? Am I losing my mind? The wide receiver for the Niners, or was he wide receiver?
Yeah,
in the middle of the day?
Yeah.
Like they just rolled up on the middle of the day?
In the mall.
Like, boom, shot him in the chest.
Yeah, getting ready to take his
for
stuff.
his Rolex.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, man, people don't care, man. Everybody wants to hit the lottery. Don't nobody want to work for their jackpot.
I'll tell you what, you grab the wrong watch from the wrong dude, and I shoot you in the head, and then you hit the lottery the wrong way.
Well, you got to get there, because when you don't know when he's coming for the watch.
What if I'm carrying the whole entire time I am?
It's impossible.
To always be ready?
Yes.
Always be prepared.
It's impossible. But.
Dude, that's scary, bro. It's a dangerous place, man. All right. Help me with this. Derwin James, your old career, he got suspended, charged, I'm sorry. Did you see the hit he got suspended for?
Yes.
Should he have been suspended for that hit?
Well, the problem is you have to know the history.
Okay.
And the way that when you are a frequent visitor to the review board, it's typically, hey, what's your name? Oh, Mr. Oh, I know you. I've seen you a few times. I've seen your type of work.
It works like that in the NFL too.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
So John Runyon.
Yeah.
And John Runyon is more than fair to NFL. But when you run into him several times, you are not going to win, because they are trying to protect the safety of the game. They are making guys, and ever since they changed the rule, guys have been adjusting. But there's always a few guys that buck the system.
So he's not adjusting, you're saying. He ain't changing his game.
He hasn't adjusted enough because he's adjusted.
Yeah.
Because he's a really, really talented player. Really talented player. And he gets into some violent collisions because his body, he's got a big body, and he can cover a lot of space in a short period of time. And he's about that type of life.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's
This
about
who he is.
Yeah, I mean, he is a heck of a football player.
Yeah.
Not a dirty football player. He is a heck of a football player that will strike you in a violent way. And typically, some of those things have been deemed to be illegal in this game. But I wouldn't deem him to be a dirty player, though.
But even though he's penalizing the game, you're saying the NFL said, hey, man, we're trying to, enough's enough, even though you're penalized.
If they were penalizing Max Crosby, if they were penalizing TJ Watt, I would be saying the same thing. The rules have changed. These guys are playing hell of a hard.
Yeah.
And they get themselves in position, unfortunately, that they get penalized. They are not dirty football players. He's not a dirty football player.
But dude, that's a big law. They playing the Chiefs. It's a big game to miss.
Yeah, John Rennie and them don't care. Like they're not looking
No,
at
I
the
don't mean
schedule.
for him. I'm just saying that's it. I know, but that's it.
Every game is important. Yes, divisional game against the Chiefs. Chiefs are undefeated. Yes, it's a huge game. It's a huge, huge game. But
and that's a tough one.
When
dude.
you've been to the principal's office 4 times.
Well, I hope we don't miss too many more games. Dolphins, no Tua. Matter of fact, I was reading this the other day. I was actually very impressed. I'm going to get my phone because it was what you said. My man sent it to me. What did he say? Let's see, here we go. You said about okay. This was in 2023. Miami Dolphins. Carter argued the Dolphins should consider moving on from Tua due to his injury history, particularly with concussions, and the questions around his durability suggest that while Tua has hell of a talent, he's had some health risks, make it hard for Miami to build a long-term Super Bowl contender around him. Yeah, obviously it was controversial. He was playing well when he was healthy. What are your thoughts on the Dolphins? They got another guy playing this week. Is this season over for Miami Dolphins? Should the fans that are watching the Dolphins understand that they ain't going to make the playoffs? Season's over. It's a wrap. Is there a chance Tua comes back? Should he what if you're a Miami Dolphins fan, what is your prognosis for the rest of the season here?
Well, 2 things. First of all, if you're a fan, you can't feel good about the current situation. And because you're at the beginning stages of a long-term contract that is going to strap the franchise. Like there's no relief for that.
Mm-hmm.
When you make a mistake like that, it hurts. It hurts for a long period of time. And it's impossible not to have, to look back and be like, wow, this is who we could have drafted. Wow, we could have done this. And I think that the head coach and Tua, the type of personality and what he wants to run, were perfect.
Mm.
So I found the perfect for the coach. How do I do that again?
Despite everything else.
Yes.
The health concern, the durability. This is my match.
Yes.
This is my perfect partner, despite all the other stuff.
Right. So I'm getting ready to go into college football and do that, or I'm getting ready to retread an NFL quarterback that hasn't been successful somewhere else. How much money are you going to put into it? Because this mark of Tua and the amount of money they gave him, because regardless of what the Dolphins will tell you, there were a lot of people questioning, should we give this kid $50 million? And now the people that were right, you can't say nothing.
Yeah, that's true. You can't say anything.
You can't say anything, so you're strapped.
Mm-hmm.
The club is going to be strapped. So Tua, given the neurologist, whatever they're saying, I could see him trying to make an attempt to come back. But if it was me at this point, I'm done playing football. I'm going to try to make a contribution in some other way.
Yeah.
As far as the fans, it's about talent. You and I were talking about it's not the X's and O's, it's the Willies and the Joes.
Yeah.
They are a different team with him healthy. He's
Yeah.
still very, very young. The ability to be able to grow, their passing attack with their small receivers, how they attack the defense and everything. You just can't do that. There are not a lot of quarterbacks that can turn their back to the defense and still have enough confidence when they turn around that they are not even sometimes get a look. It's a feel, and they're throwing the ball into a window that's not open right now. But it's going to open when the ball gets there. Like,
so not only is it a big hit because it's Tua, it's a bigger hit because these guys are hard to find. Guys like him in this system with them small, quick, fast receivers.
yes.
They're hard to find because you built everything around it. And in fairness, a guy that may or may not have
Well,
been
there's
that
no other offensive system in the NFL like the Dolphins.
Correct.
Coach McDaniels, he's done a great job, but it was because of his personnel. Now, can he do that again? I mean, I was shocked he did it this time. Can he do that again? Can he get another guy? Because he's already got the speed guys committed long term.
Correct.
So who?
Somebody got thrown the ball.
Yes. And
Dolphins got any shot at making the playoffs this year?
they got no shot.
Okay.
But Dolphins fans, let me give you a little olive branch. If you are able to get Shedeur Sanders, he is the most accurate passer in college football. So if you are able to draft him
To Miami.
yes,
be a great
and
fit.
have him on his rookie contract, that would be an amazing
Who can play right
transition.
away.
Right now.
Yeah, like walk in and play.
Yeah, he can play.
No doubt about it. Well, hey, I appreciate you. Thanks for everything. Thanks for the explanation. Thanks for everything you had to say. Thank you all for watching, liking, subscribing, sharing. Please continue to help us. Thanks for supporting Fully Loaded. Appreciate y'all. Have a great day. Thanks, man.